All right, live breaking coming in at the moment. Nirmala Sitharaman is joining, is addressing conference live, speaking on the union budget.
We've had a very extensive discussion in the morning. Clarifications were given, questions were asked for which we've replied. So it has been a very productive exercise, I'm sure, for the people who participated, certainly for us. So that's where we are. I wouldn't take more of the time here. I'll leave it open for anyone who wants to ask a question, and you may run it for me. Thank you.
The floor is now open for question and answers. We will begin from the last row there. Please go ahead. Yes, sir.
Pertaining to anti-profiteering and arrest provisions, because we're talking about decriminalization of income tax laws also.
Yes, that is very explicitly stated that we wish to decriminalize laws. We sort of started it off also with the Companies Act earlier. We've said now we'll look into Income Tax Act also in this regard. So yes, we will want to eventually make it so possible that for civil offences we don't treat it as criminal offence. To that extent, yes, there will continuously be steps taken for that purpose. I've said that.
Next question we can take from the first row, please.
My question is specifically with first to second. In the budget we talked about 100 lakh crores for the next 5 years, and also reaching about 1.7 trillion for the transport sector for 1920. So my question is, what are the source of fund? How are we going to raise those funds? Considering the private sector rates in number already. How are we going to play the role of a big brother?
I don't intend playing the role of a big brother, not at all. Government is a facilitator, and government will spend in public investment related programs. We have very clearly said we will spend on investment for infrastructure. Infrastructure creation has both immediate, short-term and long-term benefits. In the budget itself, in the speech, I had mentioned that nearly 22,000 crores have already been allotted for the two infrastructure funding agencies that we are talking about. One was a subsidiary of the National Infrastructure Investment Fund, the other is the IIFCL. And if that money is given to them, they are going to be able to leverage from the market at least 6 to 7 times conservatively, or even 8 to 9 times if you're a bit more generous. So in a way, I haven't to be met with more than 1 lakh crore, and that 1 lakh crore was announced by the Prime Minister in the Independence Day speech from the Red Fort, that it will be spread over 5 years. But even as that was said, as the year went by, we went ahead to say we are happy to front load it as much as is required. Okay. Having said that, have we waited? We have actually worked with states, we have worked with private investors, private project promoters and so on, and come up with an infrastructure pipeline consisting of over 6,400 projects. So not only are we saying things, we are also showing the way in which we'll fund it. Not only are we saying about funding it, but we are also clearly saying where these funds will go. Various states, various sectors related projects and so on. So I think our commitment towards investment and spending from public spending in infrastructure is very clearly laid out.
ये बात हो रही थी कि जो इंश्योरेंस सेक्टर में एफडीआई है उसको लेकर काफी चर्चा थी कि उसे बढ़ाया जाएगा और ऐसी होगी कि बजट में इसका ऐलान होगा, तो उस पर क्या इंटेंट है, आगे बढ़ाने का है या नहीं है, या अगर अभी के लिए नहीं है तो क्या वजह है?
दूसरा सवाल ये है कि डायरेक्ट टैक्स कोड को लेकर अगर कोई रिपोर्ट आएगी तो उसके बाद अभी तक इस पर सरकार क्या करना चाहती है। दूसरा सवाल ये है कि जो विवाद के विश्वास की स्कीम है उसमें जो टर्म इस्तेमाल किया गया है वो विथड्रॉल इस्तेमाल किया गया है, डिस्पोज ऑफ नहीं लिखा जाएगा, तो ऐसा क्यों?
Please introduce yourself with your organization.
Rajesh,
Yeah, Rajesh, yeah.
विवाद से विश्वास, LIC एंड इंश्योरेंस। आपका 3 प्रश्न है। डायरेक्ट टैक्स कोड। I think on the direct tax code, commencing from the corporate tax simplification and rate reduction, and now very clearly coming up also with the income tax rate reduction, simplification, we have very clearly shown the government's intent. Intent of the government is to move towards a simplified taxation regime. And that is why we've also made it very plain that not only rate reduction but also removal of all kinds of exemptions. That was the approach taken in the corporate tax, and that's the approach taken even now. And then that the taxation regime should be on the ground, on the basis, on the foundation of trust with citizens. We have brought in the taxpayers' charter. The taxpayers' charter being brought in into the statutes itself says how far we want to make the whole process simplified, no kind of pressure on the taxpayer, and eventually leading to a simplified and minimum possible level of taxation. So that's the route we are going on. Many of the recommendations of the committee which submitted the report are all things which we have worked on, and we are coming up with step after step in order to simplify. On the LIC, at the moment we are looking at an IPO only. And the IPO will in a way bring in retail investors into picture, and in a way also make issues more transparent for everybody to have a look at what is happening. And there is no disincentive for people to save by putting their money into LIC or any insurance scheme. Many of these exemptions have been removed, so has this one has also got removed. And today I think this kind of directing savings or putting, or incentivizing people to have their savings go through only one route and not some other is no longer relevant or needed, because Indian taxpayer, even before and now all the more, is capable of making his judgment where he wants to put his money. He wants to have his insurance, he will have it. I don't need to direct it. But if my taxation rate itself has come down, he's got enough incentive to see where he wants to put his money. He has more money in his hand if the rate of taxation is less. He can decide to put it in insurance, or he can decide to save it in any other form, or even go into the share market or the bond market. So that is the larger principle with which we have handled these matters.
Yeah, we'll take a question from you. After that, please pass it on.
That's okay.
Please unmute everybody, please.
I am Mehul Dani from Banking India. Ma'am.
Yes, yeah.
What is the way forward for UCBs and cooperative banking in the country with certain changes proposed in the budget?
Well, we've only tried getting them from the cooperative sector, those who are using the word bank in their name, to be brought under the Banking Regulation Act to be monitored and regulated by the Reserve Bank of India, which will mean that these cooperative sector institutions which are functioning with bank in their name will have to now follow the same rules and regulations which govern any scheduled commercial bank, because they're taking deposit, they're issuing loans, and therefore If they are also calling themselves a bank, which is all right, they can call themselves. But if
Well, that is Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman in an interactive outreach with various stakeholders in Mumbai, discussing the nuances of Budget 2020, clarifying a lot of issues when it comes to the LIC listing, on the fact that LIC is coming up with an IPO and how it would enhance transparency, and highlighting how the expenditures have been planned by the government on the back of Budget 2020.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.